Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trails Through Trails, the podcast where we play through the entire Legend of Heroes Trails series of video games, chapter by chapter, game by game. I am your host, Matt, and I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm your other host, Lex, and I use she, her pronouns.
And this week we are coming up to the end of Chapter 2 of Trails in the Sky, second chapter. The reportedly weakest chapter of the game, but it was still pretty good, so that's a good sign for what's to come.
Always glad when you're like, oh, and that's the worst it's going to be? That wasn't bad. We're off to the races.
I mean, I did take psychic damage when we started up the second half of this chapter, and I got another wave of side quests. You know, I've built up the fortitude from having survived the first half of the chapter, so it really wasn't too bad.
And these were a lot faster, I found.
Yeah, truly. Other than that, we do have some exciting news for the podcast, just in case you haven't listened to our bonus episode about the Sky first chapter demo that we dropped last week at the time you're hearing this. We are now part of The Worst Garbage, the podcast network featuring many of our favorite shows. Let's see how many we can list in the moment.
Video game podtimism, Into the Ether, Girl Mode, Pause and Clause,
Press Start,
In Sequence. Flow State's video thing, and I'm kind of on it. That doesn't really count. I mean, for my sake, it counts as one on the show. It just doesn't count for me getting points for naming it because I'm part of it. Can't let it go. Any percent, kind of.
Wavelengths, Shore Leave, which has just dropped from Into the Aether last week as well. NPC.
Frog of the Week and .zip.
And us. We're there too. Excellent company to be in the neighborhood with.
I have been on .zip. I can't believe that's the last one I named. I'm so sorry, AJ Chase Kim. 2 of you have been on this show. It's just what we're considering you so part of the family. It's like forgetting.
Yeah.
And Memory Card Manuscript is there too. We love that.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
As far as the podcast goes, nothing's gonna change. You'll get to hear an extra stinger at the end of the episode, but other than that, and maybe having friends on the show more often, that's about it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep playing Trails games and telling you how much we like them.
Yeah, the only real change is that we now have a channel in the Discord, as opposed to a thread in the podcast section. But if you're not part of the Worst Garbage Online Discord, definitely come join. You know, you can chat with us there. Chat with a bunch of other great people too. The Trails thread is always so active. It's such a blast.
It's truly gone bonkers in the last 6 months, I feel like. It's so many people have picked up this game, maybe just in anticipation of the remake coming in 2 weeks at the time this comes out. Jeez. Yeah, so everyone's playing every part of the Trail series at all times, so wherever you're at, you will find someone to be talking to.
And everyone's really good with spoiler tagging.
Oh, the spoiler tagging is chef's kiss. They'll also be in the main list, Trails Through Trails now, so you can come hang out with us.
Yeah.
And chat with other sickos. Affectionate,
always. If you can't tell by how often I call myself a sicko, I'm not just a deeply self-hating, self-deprecating loathing. Matt wouldn't put up with it if I was talking shit about myself constantly.
Don't say that about my friend.
It's a deep affection. But yeah, what else has been up this week?
It has been extremely cold where I live, which I know isn't saying much talking to a Canadian, but for us it's been pretty bad. I've actually had to zip up my hoodie. That's the most kind of deference to the weather I will give. Everyone in Melbourne owns a puffer jacket except for me because I never get that cold. The only time I've ever been cold enough to layer up was visiting Seattle. And I felt very kind of CW because I got to wear a hoodie with a denim jacket over the top of it.
Matt, I have a closet for only winters, like for my winter coats, because like half the year they're not in there, and they're sorted by minus 10 Celsius, minus 20 Celsius, minus 30 Celsius, minus 40 Celsius. Like,
that's so cool.
That's our approach to winter weather.
I actually do optimistically have one winter coat. It's this one that I'm pulling into frame on our video call. It's just got a bunch of like magical items, D&D type stuff on it.
It's very witchy, yeah.
But I wore it one time when it was actually cold for Melbourne, and I sweated so bad.
Yeah, no, you gotta like balance. Like, what am I gonna be walking? In that case, I can't have like hat or mitts or anything on, and I have to be open because I'll sweat. Whereas like you know, I mean, you might catch a cold, but also you won't sweat. So really, where are your priorities? Come on.
There's nothing quite like sweating 3 layers of clothing deep to really make you feel like you've made a mistake.
Yeah.
But other than fighting our very mild weather, I finished another video game. I've been on such a run lately. Actually started and finished a game called Sword of the Sea.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that.
Which is or was on the PlayStation Plus catalog. You're surfing on a sword, similar to how you do
Yeah.
in Metaphor, and you're sort of going through this big desert landscape at first, although it moves like an ocean.
I didn't realize that was out. I saw it looked great in I think a Nintendo Direct or something. It looked good, or maybe it was in a Summer Game Fest. It was in something.
Yeah, it dropped as a day one release for PS Plus, so
Huh.
I don't know if that's then like a timed exclusive or something, but that's where I picked it up. But yeah, you're surfing around, you're sort of unlocking the ocean and transforming this desert that moves like an ocean, which is very unsettling at first,
Ooh.
to unlock all the water, and you're getting all this lore about this world. It's very vibes based if you just want to like surf around in a cool environment. There's more
Yeah.
story there if you want it. But lovely soundtrack. It's one of these no dialogue games, so you're just sort of taking in the world.
Nice.
Yeah, on PS5 Pro, it looked really nice. But yeah, I've knocked it out in a couple of hours.
Oh, so nice short.
I actually recommended it to the .zip squad because I thought it might be a
Oh,
good fit
wow.
for them. I highly recommend it if you've got PS Plus, or if it is out on other platforms now. Seek it out. It's worth your time.
All right. I will have to go look for that. I totally didn't clock when that was coming out.
Yeah, it kind of stuck up on me as well. I just got the alert on my PlayStation saying, "Hey, there's new games," and this was one of them. So I was like, "Great."
Yeah. Any other games?
No, actually, yeah. Other than that, I I have on top of him playing Trails in the Sky second chapter and the demo of Trails in the Sky first chapter remake. I decided I didn't have enough trails, so I did start a new game plus of Trails of Cold Steel 1.
One of us is going to do this every season, huh? Like, one of us is going to end up deciding to replay another Trails game, too.
It's very easy to get sucked in and just kind of split focus across so many of them. But the reason I did it was because I found myself curious one afternoon last week. I was like, oh, I wonder what the new game plus setup is like for the different games. Because as we go into Zero, at least from Crossbell, and then the Cold Steel games, I'll actually have a new game plus save. And a lot of the games have like a max bonding points option
Yeah.
for games where you can sort of build a relationship, or, you know, develop the relationship with your party members or other sort of key characters.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what kind of investment I needed to make sure I could do that and carry over my stuff. Because I would love to just platinum all of these Cold Steel games on the way through, because I did not hit it on a single one the first time round.
I definitely platinum Cold Steel. I mean, okay, so I've lost all of my Cold Steel saves because life hates me. Because when I switched from my PS4 Pro to PS5, I did a full backup onto an external hard drive. I felt smart about it. I didn't have PlayStation Plus or whatever at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I did a full backup, traded in my PS4 Pro for a PS5, and then I discovered that I fucked up because you can only reload the full save to another PS4 Pro.
Oh, sucks.
Whereas there was an option, and I was like, no, I won't do the smaller option of just getting my save data. I'll do the full thing and be smart. So now I'm hoping, my hope is by the time we get to Cold Steel, I can thrift a PS4 Pro, reload this whole backup, and then now that I have PS Plus or whatever, either using that or using whatever else, just like get those saves back eventually. So hopefully, I mean, I started a new job this week, so hopefully I'll be able to afford that before we get to Cold Steel, or someone will have one sitting around and give it to me. I don't know.
When I made the move to PS5, I had to sacrifice some saves because just from having had the console for so long, I'd hit the upper limit of how many games you could save to the cloud. So I had to keep trimming ones out until I got back down to the number. But obviously games like Cold Steel, stuff where I might actually want to come back to them, I carried over. I think if I ever go back and play Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't think I have my save anymore.
Yeah, I lost all my Persona 5 and 5 Royal. I lost like 5 save files on there. It was real sad.
Rough.
It was really bad.
But yeah, so I went in to look at the Cold Steel New Game Plus, and I'd fully forgotten that they are like a points-based redemption. It's not just you automatically carry everything over.
Yeah, Cold Steel 1 and 2.
1 and 2 do it, 3 and 4 don't.
3 and 4 are normal. They're like normal games that let you just bring everything over if you want.
This one, it's like you get 5 points for completing the game. I don't know if it scales based on which difficulty you did, but I think I did normal originally.
Probably, which would make sense.
To get everything on the menu, it costs 15 points or 14 points. So you can bring over your like completion stuff, or you can get the max bonding level option instead, because that one's worth 4 out of your 5 points. And I was just like, I'm going to lose either way. I don't want to start from scratch on like level and all the completion stuff I did, because I got some trophies on the way through. So I decided I would start up a new game plus, carrying over all of those essentials so that I could smash through the game quickly, haha, and then get more points so that I could carry everything over and have the bonding stuff so we can cover all our bases when we get to the game in, oh, wait, season 6 of the podcast. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, oh my god. What am I missing? Sorry, I have 97% on Trails of Cold Steel 4 and 3. What have I missed?
Is it like the Nightmare difficulty one or something?
Yeah, but I thought I had played one of them on Nightmare difficulty at least. I thought I had done it on Nightmare. Oh, and then what am I missing on 3? Because I've done it on Nightmare. I've done 3 on Nightmare. Oh, I missed the Monster Notebook. I missed something in the Monster Notebook.
It's always one, yeah. That's one thing I'm scanning through. It's on this new game plus. I'm skipping a lot of the flippant dialogue stuff other than main scenes because I don't need to see all those early character interactions again 3 times by the time we get to the podcast.
Yeah, well, you want to react fresh to it when the time we get there.
Exactly. So I'm skipping through a lot of that and just like tidying out my collection as I go so that I can get as close to platinum by the time we do that one, because that'll be when I do a Nightmare difficulty run, which is the trophy I always avoid on everything. That's like the do it on super hard, because that's just not fun. But by the time I'm at playthrough 3 and carrying over my level and like equipment and stuff, I'll be ready to just tactically wipe the entire board anytime there's a fight, I think.
For anyone interested, it looks like Persona 5 Royal is the only game I've platinumed on PlayStation. I've just got my app open right now. I'll have to do more eventually.
I think I've got a couple over the years, but it's mostly stuff where it's like very easy to get that, you know, like the Telltale games where you could always get a platinum by just finishing the game.
I don't play that much on PlayStation, to be fair. It's like I usually play on Switch if it runs okay there, or now that I have a Steam Deck, I play a lot on Steam.
Yeah.
So I think I have 100% of stuff on Steam, like other stuff. But yeah, that's my one. And I will...
And what a one to have.
I will fucking make sure that when we get to CS3 and 4, I will get that last 3% that's missing, because that's such bullshit.
Yeah. Ugh. I think on Cold Steel 1 originally, I missed like 1 or 2 chests, so I didn't get the chest trophy.
Oh, yeah.
That was a gut punch. But don't have to worry about that properly for a couple more seasons of the podcast. In the meantime, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Oh my goodness. Well, really, so I started a new job on Monday. I guess will have been 2 Mondays ago when this goes up, but it's good, but it is very busy. So I have not really had... I've played the demo for Sky Remake, and I played my chapter for this, and I haven't really done any other gaming.
Yeah.
Like, things are good. I'm very tired because it's been like a long week, but it's not been a bad kind of long week. It's just been like a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much on the podcast about my new job just because, you know, but as I've mentioned a few times, I'm a lawyer and I'm doing lawyer things. I definitely feel like a lawyer. Like, I definitely am like, oh yeah, I'm doing lawyer things. I'm doing what I was trained for, which is, you know, always good when you're like, oh, well, hey, my degrees are going to use.
Yeah, it's nice when you get to do that. It's kind of ironic that the main place I've used my graphic design degree is designing episode art for podcast stuff.
Yes.
Both my old podcast from many years ago, The Indoorsman, and then this podcast where most recently I edited Brendan Bigley's face into the background of our cover art. So that warms a little part in my heart to just do something stupid and goofy like that, and that's what I spent 3 years learning to do, I guess.
Hey, it's worth it. The joy that one endorsement cover of Rey with Luke Skywalker on her back like Yoda when they were training, the joy that gave me is worth 3 years of education and tuition.
That was a personal highlight. I lost the Instagram account where I used to upload all those cover arts, so I don't have an archive of them fully anymore.
That is really sad.
But yes, it's a joy to just make something stupid. What's not stupid is the amount of side quests we have to do in the rest of this chapter. So, do you think we should get started on them?
Oh gosh, yeah. I think we should.
Hey, pay attention.
So, before we can even do any side quests, we have to finish investigating this gate.
Yes.
Where there was a big old earthquake. And so, where we had finished last time, the guy had been like, ugh, bracer's useless, but then was like, I guess you can investigate. And then we saved.
The earthquake that's happened at Sanctime Gate was a lot bigger more intense than the ones previously. As we mentioned when we left off last episode, books were scattered right in front of you. You can see the place has really been shaken up, but still confined to just this locality. No one else has felt it, because we didn't feel it when we were over at the other base.
Yeah.
And so obviously I didn't feel it back in Zeiss or anything like that. Yeah, I did a bit of a run around to find out what people were feeling about the situation. The first one that made me laugh was the chef in the kitchen, Sanders, was mad that he couldn't maintain business without cleaning up from the earthquake first. He's like, oh, I have to clean up all this earthquake damage before I can keep making money, which is a bad sign from your chef that he doesn't like cleaning up his kitchen.
Oh dear, that's quite alarming.
Don't eat at Sanctime Gate.
What any other NPCs?
There wasn't a lot other than people just saying there was an earthquake in some fashion. Though I did spot Ricky and Anton on the roof, which... Is this the first interaction with them, or have I missed one already?
Okay, so this is the first one.
Okay,
but
good.
There's like 3 in this chapter, so if you didn't go back and talk to them a bunch, you might have missed one.
I might have missed one, but also I'm not playing a version of the game where I'm going to get the achievement, so it's more out of curiosity than anything.
I'll walk you through them. I'm even though I have the achievement already, I do have the Odyssey of Anton achievement, so I'm not getting an achievement by going and doing them, but I'll do them and flag them anyway. Just so to fill everyone in on his Odyssey.
Excellent.
Keeping up with the Casanova, lover boy in the burl.
When I found Ricky and Anton on the roof, they were basically just talking about how Anton almost fell off during the earthquake, and he's really freaked out, but that was about it. I didn't really get like a formal introduction to who they were.
So previously, you could talk to him before... Oh, wait, no, there was a time you could talk to him before this. Apologies. So earlier, in the first half of the chapter, he was standing on top of the gate, and he was shouting at the royal capital because he was like, I hate your royal capital because I got dumped in you, or rejected.
Oh my God.
And Ricky was like, you know the royal capital's in the other direction, right? And Anton is standing there. I think he's like pretending to threaten to jump because he's so like lovelorn and forlorn and whatever, but he's also just like... shouting anger at the royal capital, like, screw you, everything's terrible. So now, and Ricky explains that he had a big crush on some girl, and then asked her out, and she dumped him, and now he's just, like, depressed and dismayed, and, like, having an existential crisis. So you do get that little introduction to them in the first part.
Okay, because, that was from when he was stalking that girl walking around the shops at Grand Cell.
So now he's super depressed because of that reaction. Which, may I remind you, was 2 months ago. Like, 2 months have passed. It was. I'm not sure.
It's been a minute, and he's still hanging out in La Burle, and also just still butthurt about his breakup. That wasn't even a breakup. It was just a refusal.
Rejection, of a girl he creeped out. But, so now, an earthquake happened, and he actually almost fell, and now he's like, oh, shit. I don't actually want to die. Never mind. That was scary. And Ricky's like, damn, he almost died.
I first met these two in the Cold Steel games, because those were the first ones I played, and I thought he was melodramatic then. So it's good to know that he's been consistent from the start. My God.
He mellows out. He actually somehow mellowed out.
What a man. I can't believe he hasn't found anyone yet. In any case, after hearing about his horrible escapade, or at least the second half of it, I went and found... almost by accident, Warrant Officer Talbot, who we were directed to speak to.
Yes. In the warehouse-ish thing.
Yeah, he's in the warehouse. He gives you kind of a quick rundown, which is just that that the quake began at 1300 hours, because we're in the military, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So 2 hours ago from when we're standing there. It lasted for 30 seconds, and was stronger because, as he says, it knocked down big piled-up boxes, which is how we measure earthquakes. How big of a box did it knock down? Big ones. Big piled.
So big piled.
But after that, I got challenged with like a BP question, which was, what's different about this earthquake? Is it that it was stronger, that it lasted longer, or both? And it was both.
It was both. It was a trick question. So yeah, he then tells us that Private Chesley... who's on the roof, I think, had seen something, or someone, because we asked about suspicious.
Yeah, he mentioned someone weird around the gate the day before.
Yes, and because we've been alerted to a weird person showing up where these earthquakes seem to be happening, we're really on the lookout for weird people.
Yeah, so we pressed for more information, and what a surprise. The strange person he saw was tall and wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
He basically came up to the roof, looked at the scenery for a bit, and then left again. So
Yeah.
he didn't really talk to anyone, including Chesley. He just came up, saw the sights briefly, and then went back downstairs.
One other person saw him apparently though, and that's Tammy from the mess hall. So we head off to the mess
Yes.
hall to talk to Tammy. And Tammy describes his appearance again, the sunglasses. She also mentions he's got like these black gloves and stuff. And Estelle has a great line here. Estelle goes, "This guy might as well wear a sign on his head saying, 'I am sinister, be suspicious of my evil ways.'" Which, all caps. I love her.
Also, Tammy is extremely horny for this mystery man.
She is so horny for this guy. She's like, "So I followed him."
Yeah, she basically, the only interaction she had was she said hello to him as he walked past in the hallway, and he said yo, and that was enough to get her pulse racing. Apparently, she goes, "Oh, just thinking about it makes me all tingly again. He was so wild."
Yo, so wild.
So apparently, Tammy is attracted to toxic men. That's unfortunate for her.
Yeah.
Olivier also mentions because he came down from the roof after looking at the scenery. Tammy saw him in the hallway.
Right, then Tammy walks us over to where Tammy decides to walk us to where, she's like, "I lost sight of him in a weird place." Before, I think Olivia says something after, but I think this is, or maybe he asks where, like, did you lose sight of him? Anyway, Tammy explains.
She mentions that he disappeared, and Olivier says it all sounds delightfully spooky.
And she shows us where in the hallway they ran into each other, and then shows us how she followed him a moment later. She saw a door to, like, the rooftop gate area close and figured, oh, he must have gone out through there. But then he wasn't out there, but it's a dead end. So where could he be? Because it's very high up.
So she also makes a point to mention that she noticed that his shirt was very open. So... Tammy, let's focus on the facts, please. Olivia tries to console her by hitting on her.
Yeah.
Saying, like, I'm so sorry you lost your mystery man. Eyebrows dancing.
Do you want another one?
It doesn't really work.
No. But it could just be because Shara shuts him down. Well, for me, Shara shuts him down immediately. And I assume somebody also shuts him down on your behalf. Like Estelle or someone is like, "Shut up."
I believe Estelle just kind of stumps him in that moment, yeah.
Yeah.
But the team kind of confer and say that it sounds like if he went out onto the top of the wall and then disappeared, sure sounds like yeeterporting to me. It's high up enough that he can jump off and vanish.
Yeah, and we even have a flashback to the very first Yeetaport, the Uwe of Lawrence, as he's was known then, Yeetaport from the castle. And they all have, like, dramatic black and white flashbacks to it, or sepia-toned flashbacks.
Yeah, I love it. Remember the last, like, ninja jump we saw?
Yeah. And they're all like, well, if he works for Ouroboros, then I can believe he can Yeetaport.
Yeah, they sort of decide, okay, if he's got the same abilities, it sounds like he's probably another enforcer, kind of reinforcing the idea that there's an enforcer being sent to each region to do some sort of fucked up shit to get ready for a big plan. But yeah, after deciding that this sunglasses man sounds like an enforcer, we decide it's time to head back to the guild house and meet up with the rest of the team.
We do, although there's another Anton interaction now if you go look for him again. Did you go look for him
Oh, yes,
again?
you've got the chance. I did, actually. Luckily, my guide mentioned this one. I don't know if they mentioned that first interaction and I just missed it, but they do say to go find him because he's at the bottom of the stairs from the roof, laying on the ground, just kind of dazed.
Yeah, he's just so depressed. He's like, I'm just going to lie here forever now because I'm so depressed. The birthday celebration comes and all I have to show is a broken heart. Then an earthquake comes and all I get is nearly dying. How pitiful. I haven't even the will to stand up. Ah, Ricky, tell me. Hang on, what does he need Ricky to tell him? Damn, that screenshot didn't go through. He asked Ricky to tell him something. I think, Ricky, what is my purpose? Or what is my raison d'être? And Ricky goes, it's pretty clear what your raison d'être is right now, being a roadblock.
Yeah, because he's half blocking off the way up to the roof.
And then if you talk to Ricky again, he's like, I'm sorry, my buddy is blocking the way onto the stairs.
Oh man, I love and hate Anton simultaneously.
Yeah.
He's good entertainment, but I can't imagine meeting a real person like him. That would be horrible.
God, the worst. I also had one other great NPC interaction before leaving the gate. So Bishop Raval has been around because he was coming to like do services, I guess. And so he's been around for this whole time, and you can talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, the earthquake was bad or something." But then right before you leave, he says, "Oh, well, we're finally done cleaning up from the earthquake, and now I can start my services." And then he goes, "Still, I am so unbelievably hot."
Okay. That's confidence.
And then he follows up with a line about how like his bishop clothes are really hot for doing all this exercise. But I'm like, no. This is the drag queen coming out. This is another piece of evidence.
Feeling the fantasy for sure.
The great Septian drag race that is the Septian Church.
Yeah, so we head back to the guild house and find out that the professor and Tita are there, along with...
Tita's there with Russell, and they finished doing whatever thing that when Russell was like, "It's a surprise tool that's going to help you later, I'm going to work on. Now time for the surprise tool."
Hooray.
But first we have to report, and, we have to impress Kilika, so we give her a report. And then we get to learn about these devices.
Yeah, so they're basically, we're going to try and triangulate the earthquakes, because we know that it seems like it's something to do with the... Then they rattle off every possible name for these at this point. It could be the septium veins, also known as the earth veins, also known as the spirit veins, also known as the dragon veins.
Yeah, dragon veins in the east, earth veins and spirit veins, I think are like, those are old-fashioned names before we had the nice high-tech, highly scientific terminology that is septian veins, because referring to the earth as having veins is actually totally scientific and not at all mumbo-jumbo.
For sure, yeah.
If it's septian, like, just call them dragon veins, it sounds coolest, but whatever. They're like, I think they're basically ley lines, but like, that you can track with modern technology.
Yeah, and it's such a weird thing to bring up all these names at this point, because this is the first arc. Like, we do talk about these veins at later games in other locations where they do use different names for them, but we don't have any of that context at this point.
So, I think the dragon veins thing makes sense to bring up, because spoilers for this episode, Jin calls them dragon veins, and it would make sense that since Killiga's talking to us about them, if Killiga said in the east they're called dragon veins, but why bring up the other two names right now? That part's really weird. Like, I get bringing up dragon veins.
Contextually, it would work for either Killiga to bring it up because she is Calvardian in the moment, saying like, I'm used to calling them dragon veins, but here in Science Town we call them septium veins, or when Jin shows up, to have him say, "Oh, dragon veins," and then have to make that connection. It's like different places call different names. It just...
Or if Joshua was around, because as we know, Joshua always loves going, "It's an Eastern technique," even though he's not from the East. He's like, that seems like an Eastern technique. So he could bring him up because he's a weeb.
Yeah, it's an Eastern word technique.
Eastern linguistic technique.
But it feels so front-loaded to have this when, at least in this chapter, it doesn't need that context at all.
Yeah, it does very much feel like we're excited about a world building and want to share it, rather than this is naturally like world building info that you would be told at this point.
The creative team did a poll to decide which name to go with, and it was split evenly 4 ways, so they just used all of them.
Yeah.
Insane. Anyway, we're getting these earthquake, like seismic detectors, basically, that we're going to go find 3 key locations across the region that we can put them in to triangulate the next earthquake and figure out more about where it's coming from or what's causing it.
I need to share a Shira line about this.
Ooh.
Where right when we're getting introduced to what these devices are, Shira goes, those devices the professor brought us will let us fight back with the power of science. And I don't know.
Okay, Shira.
That's such a dorky fucking line. We can fight back with the power of science. Like
that feels like a line that Estelle should say to Tita to like get her excited. It doesn't sound like a Shira line at all.
Yeah. No, it's so silly. It's like, what are you saying, Shira?
Okay.
Anyway, I had to share that.
That's crazy. I don't recall any kind of interesting line from Agate at this point. I definitely didn't screenshot or note anything. The 3 places that we need to put these signal thingies, I actually can't remember what they call them, but it's one in the North Plains, one in Chaldea Tunnel, and one just outside Leiston Fortress.
Yeah, in the Trap Plains specifically, it's that stone circle where there's a treasure chest.
Yes, the one that was part of a quest in FC where they talked about it as though it was an obvious clue, and I was like, I'd never even went there, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, maybe it was just they added that quest because they wanted to encourage you to find that place before SC, but, like...
It's one of those things where if this was meant to be one continuous story originally, it would be revisiting a location you'd been to. So it would be potentially fresher in your mind. In any case, it sounds like setting these things up, because they are like prototypes from the professor, it's going to be pretty tricky to like place them and angle them correctly so that the signals will come back to Capel, the big supercomputer.
Yeah.
So Tita is going to come along and help as our tech support.
Yes, we get Tita! Tita time!
Yeah, and at this point I do get some unique agate dialogue as well. They all kind of like go, Tita's gonna come? And Estelle reactively turns to Agate and is like, how is he gonna react to this? Because he's big brother.
Mm-hmm.
He says, like, I mean, I don't love it, but it makes sense. And then says to Tita, don't daydream too much, because without us, you wouldn't notice the monsters until they were already eating you. And Tita just goes, oh, but Agate, you'd save me, wouldn't you?
Aww.
And he gets kind of flustered. He's like, oh, shut up, pay attention. So it's great because, like,
that's cute.
Previously in FC, before they went on their, like, criminal road trip,
yeah,
he would have said something like that and she would have burst out crying. But now she's like, haha, I love you, big bro.
Yeah, it's cute.
Delightful. Everyone's undermining Agate, except why is he feeling so surprised? Because don't you remember, women are great. Like, women are so cool.
Yeah, Agate. You're the one who taught us feminism.
But yeah, at this point, because we now have 5 people to choose from in our party, we get a party select screen for the first time, and we actually introduce a far better party composition technique than we had right at the end of FC.
Yes, although you still have to physically go back to the guild anytime you want to switch people and talk to a party member who's not in there. So it is not, like, the most sophisticated in the world, but it's still a big improvement from what they had at the end of FC.
For sure. Like, it is kind of sad at this point because they say, yeah, basically anyone who's in reserve will just be hanging out upstairs at the Bracer Guild.
It's so lonely.
An area of the guilds that we never really accessed that much in the last game.
Yeah.
But at this point, there's only one extra, so it's just one person sitting alone by themselves, which is a little bit sad.
It's pretty depressing. I felt really bad for whoever was there.
Though the party select screen is very cool because you get to sort of add the party members to the sort of party squad, and they're all in little combat animations. So they do like a little schwa. It's very cool. It makes me excited to go back and switch them up whenever I need to.
Yes.
At this point, though, the party that I chose was Estelle, Agate, Tita, and Olivier. So Chloe had to stay behind. It does feel like punishment after I complained about her craft selection last time, but...
Yeah.
Sorry, Chloe.
I brought Chloe back in later, but for now, yeah. Because I wanted Olivier to finish doing his quest with the gun.
Yes, very important to keep him around, and obviously we need Tita to set up these devices, so Chloe was just kind of the obvious.
Yeah, she's not even a choice. Like, you don't have the choice to take her out. She's a mandatory. You only get to choose between Chloe and Olivier here.
So we will excuse you, princess.
So I then did some side quests.
Yes, they unlock another batch of side quests at this point. The first one I did, I don't know about you, was the parts search.
Oh yeah, me too.
So this one is from Eric back at the Orbital factory in the ground floor of the Zeiss building.
Yes.
Basically, he was silly and he let a bunch of parts fall out of his pocket during the earthquake. Turns out he had a rip in his pocket. He's not a smart man. So he wants us to go find as many of these parts as we can around the factory for him, using a new interaction item that we're handed, which is a metal detector.
Yeah.
He mentions that as backtracking his movements, he was in the workshop on the 3rd floor and the laboratory on the 4th floor, and he played with Antoine the cat at some point.
Our favorite character.
That's all the information we got. He's already checked the elevator and the hallways, so we don't need to worry about it being somewhere on transition. Why he searched those and not the main places he went to, I don't know, but thanks.
Yeah.
So it's just these 2 rooms, really, that we need to search. So he had 8 parts in his pocket. He wants us to find at least half of them. That'll be enough to get by, but if we can find all 8, that would be a minor miracle.
There's a hole in his pocket, dear Eric, dear Eric.
And this is very annoying.
It's so annoying. Like, if it was I could see this working fine in SC if they have it like a hotkey for using it, and you can just like walk around and hit one button and it'll go off. That would be fine.
That's exactly it. Like, I need to be able to hit like square or one of the shoulder buttons on my controller to like just bring up my interactable objects list. Because as it is, you're basically playing hot potato in these rooms. You go into your items menu, you go into your key items menu, you pick the metal detector, you activate it, does a little pulse and says there's something close, there's something really close, or there's nothing. The intention is that you would just go around triggering this in the room a bunch of times, but you have to go into the menu through all those layers every single time.
Yeah, I don't know how people did this when there were no guides that you could just refer to. Because I'm like, I don't...
Yeah, refer to a guide for this mission. I appreciate the variety we're getting in side quests so far, but it is a swing and a miss sometimes.
Yeah.
So this one, if you're going to play it, I highly recommend just get a guide that tells you exactly where to ping each time. The actual success zone is pretty tight even then. So it's like behind cupboards and on a desk and like between two bookshelves.
Or like in the gap between one shelf and another. Like
It's basically in alcove spots in these two different rooms. The final one, though, is a trick. You found 7 parts in these rooms and there's nothing left to find. The only hint that we had is that he played with Antoine, but Antoine is not in the room. So you have to go wandering to find out where the cat ended up. He's in the clinic where he hung out in the first game.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he has the last piece on him. He stole it to use as a toy or something. So at the same time, we do get a couple of Antoine lines in this little interaction.
Yes.
So firstly, when you show up, he's now saying "Meow," which means "so we meet again, fleshy thing."
I love you.
Obviously, he recognizes us from the last game when he came on the airship with us.
Yeah, he remembers us.
Then we notice that he has the part on him. So we're standing around talking about how Eric said that he played with Antoine and maybe Antoine carried the part away. At which point he says "meown," which means "what did you just say, oh hairless one?" And so, sorry, Antoine, we have to take this, but we will get Eric to repay you with like a new toy or something. And then he just says "meown," which means goodbye. And then goes back to saying "we meet again" afterwards. So
yeah.
He just has like his little interaction.
So I actually went back to the guild and switched out Olivier for Chloe just because I had a thought in my mind. I thought, what if she has animal telepathy and not just bird telepathy?
How'd that go?
My answer is inconclusive because she said he made a sound and she said, "I'm sorry for taking away your toy, Antoine." And I'm like, did he say something that prompted that? Was she replying to him? Like, I don't know, but I don't have the screenshot. I just marked this down in my head.
I think that sounds like just like a variant of the line that I got, but I do kind of like the read of it as maybe she has like animal telepathy. It's like bird. She majors in birds, so she gets like the gist from other animals, but that can't like, directly communicate the way she can with Sig. So it's just like, I get the feeling that he's pissed. And it's like, yeah, he is. You stole his toy.
I don't know why this crossed my mind, but I was immediately like, oh, I should test if Chloe can speak to other animals. So
I like that.
If I get other opportunities to test Chloe's animal translation skills, I will keep you posted. Like,
please do.
Listen to this podcast so that we can find out about Chloe's telepathy skills.
The deep dive investigation we've all been needing.
Exactly.
So when I handed back all 8 parts, very excited. We got a buzzer accessory, and I was curious what it was. So I actually went into the menu for one of the first times and checked the accessory description. Turns out that it's like a little alarm clock that detects unconsciousness and sounds an alert. So it's like preventing faint and sleep. So I like that it's just the world's worst alarm clock that goes off as soon as you fall asleep.
Yeah.
It seems like it almost sounds like this is what happens when you build an orbital alarm clock, lose 8 parts, and then try to hand it over to someone anyway.
I like this theory.
At first I thought when it said buzzer, I thought it was like a hand buzzer, you know, like the joke, like zap someone's hand when they shake your hand thing.
Sorry, when you said that, I thought a different body part that you'd want things to buzz against.
That would be really weird to hand over to a 16-year-old girl, for sure.
It would be, but men are creeps in this game, as we've established. I wouldn't put it past them.
I hope that we do get like an update later on where Eric has made it up to Antoine in some way. Clearly the cat likes playing with orbal parts, so maybe we'll see the first orbally powered cat toys.
Yeah.
Just like a little ball that rolls around by itself or something. But yeah, that wrapped up the parts search. Nice quick one, sort of in-house.
Isn't it weird that we have Anton and Antoine now?
Who is loved better? It's Antoine. I'm sorry.
Oh, obviously. Oh, I also had one more thing actually in the clinic where I talked to the clinic lady, Dr. Miriam, and she was mentioning the medicine that Father Vixen made to cure agate last game.
Oh.
And she says, I tried to analyze that medicine and I couldn't understand how it works. Modern medicine is way behind what Father Vixen and the church can do. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Is the church, like, not sharing with doctors their knowledge of medicine? She was like, yeah, well, I guess they have 1,000-year head start on us. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that they would have had a body of knowledge. But wouldn't they have shared that then when there started to be, like, medical establishments to, like, research further? Like, what? Also, the way they talked about his medicine, the way people talk about orbments, where it's like, yeah, it's like a black box. We can't really understand how artifacts work. Like, that's what I thought of. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Although, actually, that reminds me, I don't know if I have a screenshot for it somewhere, but I did go back to visit the church with agate in tow, and there's a little interaction with Father Vixen about his, like, medical treatment last game.
Yeah.
He basically, it's not much, it's just like he recognizes agate, and he's like, oh, hello, young man. It's good to see you up and about.
After getting shot.
Basically just, like, hoping he's doing well, and agate's like, yeah, thank you. You did a good job, like, I'm doing great.
Yeah, you saved your life, buddy.
Yeah, he's appropriately thankful, but then
Good.
Father Vixen starts launching into almost like a sermon. He's just talking about how medicine's important and taking care of people's important or something, and then we just kind of dip. It was just nice to have like a little nod back there for agate. He's just like, thank you for saving my life. I'm trying to be a kinder and less angry man now.
Good. I went to gender studies class and I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to abandon toxic masculinity.
Which quest did you pick up next?
I did the Peeping Tom quest.
Oh, yes.
What about you?
I think I did. There was like a monster elimination on the way.
Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah.
In the southern part of Trap Lanes, which is a big, gross squad of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was actually one that I pre-warned you about because I don't know if it was in the episode or not, but we've talked about bad spider vibes for Lek.
My arachnophobia, yeah. This wasn't so bad. Like, they're gross, but like I could handle them. I don't know. I won't like them if they have them accurately done in the remake, but I can handle them like this, though I did not like them.
They're very leggy, which even I didn't like.
Yeah.
They're very long-limbed, and I'm so used to just turboing through these fights. But turboing with them, they move a little too quickly and smoothly, and I didn't like it. So I was just like, hey, Lex, just a heads up.
Yeah.
This one might be a stare at the status bar one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Though I did notice that their name is like Yakka, which is really accurate because yuck.
Yuck, yeah.
Like, well named. They are yuck.
They were nasty. Unfortunately, they're also just like a base enemy in a later area in this chapter.
I don't like that.
Not great. But yes, the Peeping Tom mission, which is out at Elmo Village.
Yeah.
So this is when we're finally actually told to go to the village, even though I just like dipped in previously. We're sent to go talk to Ms. Mao at the hot springs.
And she has, so I really can't remember if in the first game she had a portrait yet or if that wasn't until the second game.
No, she didn't.
Okay, so her portrait really kind of looks like a Ghibli character, you know?
She's very, like, interestingly different in the way she's drawn. She's so round.
She could be like the Spirited Away character or something. Like, it's very charming.
Yeah, she's got those big, soft, rosy, like, motherly woman cheeks. I really like her. She just looks so sweet and kind.
Yes.
But it is a little out of place where a lot of other faces have built on a very standard anime shape, let's say.
Yeah, but it's nice to see her again. And she tells us that basically a lot of female guests specifically have been reporting that they feel like someone's watching them in the bath, that they're hearing things like, not just like, oh, I have a weird feeling, but like they haven't seen a person, but there's been enough like weird things and like sounds and like stuff that they're uncomfortable. And that if it had just been like a one-off thing with no evidence, that would be different. But the fact that this keeps coming up and keeps getting reported independently is like, no, we have to look into this.
But the only thing we can really do to do anything about it is to catch the Peeping Tom in the act.
Yes.
So The solution there is obviously, let's all go have a bath together.
Yes. And Olivier, it's unclear whether he's actually trying to go into the change room with us or whether Estelle just accuses him of it and insists on, she's like, first I have an escort mission before I can join you guys in the changing room, an escort mission to the men's changing room, where she frog marches Olivier to the men's changing room to make sure that he can't...
I didn't have that gag at all.
Oh my god, you didn't?
It's kind of a reverse in that...
Oh, because you have another man together. It's not all women, yeah.
Yeah, so I had the two girls kind of like designated as the bait, and they sort of agreed to that. And then Olivier goes to go with them towards the changing rooms from the front desk, and they're like, "What do you mean? No, we're going to stay and attack." And it's like, "No, we're all going to get in the bath together. We'll be right there, and we can attack." I kind of thought Olivier would say something about like, "These beautiful flowing locks will trick any peeping Tom," but he doesn't have anything quite like that. But at the change rooms, yeah, there was a thing where he basically drags Agate to the changing room against his will.
Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
"Come on, Agate, darling. Let's go get ready."
That's vaguely familiar.
Agate has his go-to gay panic.
Amazing. But no, this is the reverse, where Olivier's like, let's all take the bath together. And we're like, okay, that sounds fine. And then Estelle's like, you're going to the male changing room because I have a feeling you're going to try and just walk with us. The way you always join us to go places when we don't invite you along. She's like, you know how you just always join us on our quests without, like, saying anything? And we, like, don't notice that you followed us because you're a weirdo and we ignore you? I figure you're going to do that to get into the changing room, so no. And then she frog marches him to the men's room, and then we all reconvene in the bath. All wearing towels, I guess, even though I don't think you ever actually do that in a hot spring in Japan.
We're all in sort of a mixed bath. It's not sort of gender divided.
The outdoor one, yeah.
Now, I'm interested to see how this part of the scene plays out differently for the two of us.
Yes, there's very specific stuff to Shara.
So, in my version, with Agate and Olivier, the girls and Olivier sitting to one side, Agate's sitting off by himself in the distance because he's kind of embarrassed.
Oh no.
Tita asks Olivier, so, do you and Shara have a special kind of relationship? And he says, I leave it to your imagination. However, fear not. Now I am yours alone, little Tita. Which she's kind of startled by. And Agate turns around and starts glaring from the other side of the bath. Which Estelle says, looks like the scary big brother over there is glaring at you. And Olivier, unfazed, says, yes, I can feel his hot gaze upon my being most keenly. Perhaps he is lonely. Agate, would you like to join the conversation? And he's just like, whatever, don't forget why we're here. Estelle says, I get that, but why did you leave your bandana on? Because he's standing there in the bath in a towel with his bandana on his head still.
Amazing.
He says, like, honestly, the way you look is kind of standoffish. Agate's response is just, a very cool guy. Sounds like a line he's been practicing in the mirror. It's like, whether I stand off or stand in, it's got nothing to do with you. I don't do anything without this on.
Of course, Agate.
Agate has this big cool line. And Olivier's kind of like, it's true that everyone's free to do as they please, but do you wash your hair with that on? Agate's mad. He's like, of course I take it off then. Tita confirms he does take it off. So she's seen him bandana-less in their journeys, apparently.
Oh my god. Madness.
And he's like, are you idiots? What do you think I am? And Estelle just burns him. She's like, I don't know. It seems pretty plausible for you, honestly. You seem like the kind of type to do any crazy thing you set your mind to. And then he gets really quiet, and that's where we're interrupted by monsters. So, let's cut back to your version. I'm interested to see how this conversation goes with Shara.
Yeah, basically, Shara and Olivia are just flirting it up in the bath. And, Shara, Estelle comments to Shara, like, oh, you didn't take your hair down for the bath. And Shara's like, no, it would take too long to tie it back up when we have to go out and fight monsters. I just left it up. Olivia says, that's such a shame. I would love to see, it would be very charming to see you washing your hair, Shara. And he's like, maybe we should go to a top-tier spa in my homeland. And Shara's like, oh, that might be fun. Like, they're flirting over back and forth. And then Estelle gets really weird. And she says, this is really suspicious. And we're like, and they're like, what? And Estelle's like, you two together, it's really suspicious. Like, are you actually something? Is there actually something between you two? And Shara goes, oh, it's nothing. It's just, we're just, like, working partners. Like, we're just chatting. We're just, and Olivier's just a drinking partner. And Olivia goes, I humbly refuse to accept that designation. He's like, no, it's not just that. And Estelle goes, really? Sometimes the way you two talk, it's like you're sharing a secret. It really feels like you understand each other, so yeah, I'm curious. And you used to get Tita, and it just says in parentheses, but like her heart is pounding. And Cher's go, oh, okay, I see what you're getting at. And she goes, unfortunately, that's a work thing. There are ... circumstances. And then she says she'll explain it another time. So I think this is a callback to that scene in FC where she's like, are you an Airbonian agent? And Olivia's like, yeah, but I'm not here to, like, steal anything or cause shit. I'm here to meet with Cassius, which still hasn't quite happened.
Right, when she caught him on the phone on the airship.
Yeah, and they were like, we're not going to tell Estelle because Estelle will, like, not know how to be delicate about will, like, feel really betrayed by that. Like,
yeah.
Shara could be cool about the fact that, like, yeah, he's here. He was sent by his country for diplomatic, presumably, like, meeting with somebody is a diplomatic purpose, I guess. Like, he's not here to cause shit up, and the fact that he has, like, an ulterior motive doesn't mean he's, like, a villain, but Estelle might take it the wrong way. So they decided to not mention it to Estelle, but I think it's a callback to that.
Yeah, interesting. And I'm assuming that's about the time when you guys got interrupted as well?
Yes, then Olivia is the one who notices that the peeping Toms sheep are here. He's like, do you not notice that someone's here? Now it's really time to be on our guard, or something like that. And, because Olivia is the one who sensed them.
So it turns out the peeping Toms are not Toms, but in fact sheep. It's just a bunch of all of the different sheep-type enemies.
Creepy sheep.
I don't know why they are attracted here. Is it a septium veins thing again? Who knows?
They actually explain that shortly after. They say that the earthquakes probably destroyed their nest or their den, and now they're freaking around and acting up because their usual hangout has been all upended.
Now, at this point, I fully expected that we were going to go into combat in towels.
Yeah.
I thought this was the origin point of all of those kind of cringy costume DLCs in all of the future games where everyone always has a towel version.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was a reference to this, but no, like, we get into a fight and apparently have enough time to change back into our battle outfits before confronting these sheep.
Yeah, Shara, after all that chat, where Shara was like, I won't have time to do up my hair, so I'm not gonna wash it. Like, after all that, I kind of expected them to, like, not have time to change into their normal clothes.
Yeah, she doesn't have time for her hair, but she has time to lace her corset before she goes into a fight, I guess. Sure.
Girl.
This fight is also unique in that you step into the battle and all, 8 of these sheep are just simultaneously casting?
Yeah.
And you can't interrupt them. Your interrupt attacks just fail. And so I wasn't sure what would happen. And then suddenly one of them got a turn, and they all fuse into a giant sheep rat king.
A Sir sheep or something like that. It's so freaky. I hate it.
It looks bad.
It looks bad, but it's, like, wild. It's so funny in a weird way.
They also all separate every time you hit them. They're, like, getting hit animation is all the sheep kind of, like, popping apart and then coming back together again.
Oh my god. I didn't think I noticed that.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. However, it was very lucky for me that this was around the point that I think Estelle and Agate had unlocked Chain 2.
Oh, yeah.
So they could chain attack with 2 party members instead of just 1. So it was a pretty quick fight for me. I was able to just, like, smash them. Because this thing's got, like, 9,000 health or something. It's pretty beefy.
Yeah.
And you've just got to chip away at it because it doesn't have any, like, spell weaknesses or anything.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one. But it's quite funny in a strange way. Like, who thought of this?
How does the scene after the fight end for you? Because mine is specific to Agate.
Tita's like, it's weird that they fuse. I wasn't expecting that. Let me just see if I screenshotted anything, but I don't think it was anything that noteworthy. Yeah, Tita goes, like, I never thought they combined into one super creepy sheep. But that's kind of all, like, that I noted down at least.
In my version, after the fight's finished, the sheep aren't dead. They're all just kind of, like, knocked out on the ground. Agate actually pulls out his sword again, and he, like, smacks it really hard on the ground. That makes the whole screen shake to, like, wake them up. And it's like, no, go on, get. And then he smacks it on the ground again, and they all scatter off to the winds.
Estelle does that.
Tita theorizes, like, I wonder if they were startled here because the quakes upset their original environment. But yeah, I just like that Agate was just like, hey, wake up, go away. We seem to love letting monsters go.
Yeah, Estelle does that. And scares them away like that. She does that in her thing.
I really like seeing Agate do it because, like, there's a proper, like, clang sound effect when he hits the ground. It's like, the heavy blade is heavy. Properly heavy.
For sure.
But yeah, that was about it. We wrapped up with Ms. Mao, kind of let her know what's going on, and that was about it for the Peeping Tom quest.
Yeah, and then we can carry on to the actual main quest. Do you want to take a break and then do that?
Let's do it.
Leave it to me!
So, with the 3 earthquake detectors that we need to place,
Where did you do the first one?
the first one I did was in Leyston Fortress.
Oh, it was the last one I did.
Which one did you start with?
I started with Trap Plains because I was right here.
I missed it on the way past, so I had to circle back for that one.
I mean, you do have to go off the beaten path, but I went that way. And I also, I had missed a chest in Carnelia Tower, so I already wanted to go back up that way.
Ah, okay.
So I just did that. But yeah, I did the stone circle first. Do you want to start with mine? Start with yours?
Yeah, let's start with you. That would be the logical one to have done. For me, honestly, I just kept getting mixed up between Trap Plains Road and the other road.
Ritter.
Several times I kept circling back to the entrance to Carnelia Tower thinking it was Soldat Road.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was just getting my wires crossed, which I think is why I missed it to begin with. But yeah, the one out at the weird rock formation thing.
Yeah.
You put it down and immediately it's like, oh, look, it's powered by Sepith. Monsters love Septium. Here it comes. And we get attacked by more sheep.
Yes, but these are a weird hybrid one. They even say at the end, this is one of the new monster species that's shown up recently. I think they're called sky sheep. They're blue. And they're annoying. They're fine. You can handle them, but they're annoying.
Yeah, they're quite tough. I was tired of sheep at this point, to be honest.
Oh god, yes.
That's about it for that one. There's not really much there's a couple of lines about how Grandpa said there was a big septium vein under here, that's why we're placing it, but that was about all.
I did have a little more on my end, specific to Shara being there. Well, first of all, there is a little chatter about... They keep calling the ancient Zemurian civilization the Zemurian civilization, which I clocked as weird.
Yes.
And they say that this is older than any of the ancient Zemurian stuff we've seen.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot less grand. It's so basic, but it's at least as old, so it must be, older. And that Professor Russell thinks this was once an important religious site of some kind. But then Olivier is really curious about how this parabolic antenna thing works and how it transmits data. And Shara asks him if this is his, quote, interest in technology showing.
Oh.
And Olivia goes, why, whatever do you mean, dear Shara? I certainly don't know. And, especially, they were talking about, are you here to steal technology or our technology secrets back in FC? And now I think Shara is being are you trying to get Librelian tech secrets by asking that?
I see. Yeah, I believe in my version Olivier does ask about the antenna because I got a bit of an explanation about how it works, but there was no one to flag that was curious of him.
Yes.
Good to know. After that one, Leyston Fortress, I went to that one first originally because on the way there's another monster extermination on Soldat Army Road or whatever it's called.
Makes sense. I did Chaldean next, but we can do Leyston. That makes sense.
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, the Soldat Road monster on the way, it was just a wolf with some friends. It was one of those wolves that when it dies, it does a howl and it powers everything else up.
Death throes thing. Yeah.
So I just made sure to knock down all the grunt monsters first, so he was the last to go. Pretty simple, but then placing the detector at Leyston Fortress, as we walk up, they're talking about how, as we always do, anytime we come across a new topic, we have to say when the last time we interacted with it was.
Yes.
Tita's talking about how, the last time we were here it was really fun, which was when we were infiltrating a military base to rescue her grandpa.
Yes.
Which is an interesting take, Tita. Olivier immediately has FOMO about not being invited to the infiltration.
I didn't have Olivia there. I had switched to Chloe by now.
Oh.
I forgot to mention, I did go back and turn in the quest, and I brought Chloe because I wanted to level her. So I didn't get that from Olivier.
No, I'd kept the same party. Honestly, I think I'd forgotten that I had a 5th party member to choose from because it's still such a new concept.
That's fair.
But yeah, Olivier is just "Aw, I would have had fun doing an infiltration. Why didn't you invite me?"
He's had FOMO in all these chapters so far. He had FOMO about missing the play. He had FOMO about this. Poor guy, just missing it all. I got a funny line from Chloe.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, I'm a little amazed that you managed to break into the legendary Leyston Fortress. And then in parentheses, she goes, I'm also not sure I should be hearing that.
That's good instincts from future leader of the country.
I love her.
But yeah, after Olivier had his complain. We went up to the gate guard because it seemed pretty smart to like check in with the military before setting up a technological device right outside their front door.
Yes.
But they say it's all fine, so we set up the device on Tita's advice next to the sign leading into the fortress. She even has a little line about it. It's like, I know it's going to block the sign a bit, but this is the best spot.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly expected it to be down the little side path that goes past there, which I think was where we went to like spy on the base originally in the first game.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We did do that.
There's like a little path that leads north from there, but hey, right in front of the sign works for me. As we turn on the device, no monster attack this time, but we do have a Brigadier General Dad attack.
Yeah.
He wanders across the bridge to say hello. I also like that he kind of confirms that him being like the king of the army is Morgan's fault, because he's just like, make Cassius do it. And Estelle remarks that seeing him in a uniform was weird at first, but now he seems at home in it.
Yes.
So he's sort of settled back into his role leading the military. Very, very sweet of her to be like, Dad, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, that is sweet. He also called himself the Great Dandy of the Royal Army.
The Great Dandy of the Royal Army. With that mustache, I am not surprised.
Which he means this in terms of, like, he was a lady killer. That's not what I think of when I think Great Dandy.
No.
But okay. Okay, Cassius.
All right, Brigadier General Dandy. Oh, there is a cute little moment where Cassius acknowledges Tita as Estelle's little sister, essentially.
Yes.
Estelle's sort of responding to him, saying, don't worry, I'll shower you in filial piety and success too, which is a weird thing for your daughter to say to you. And talking to Tita, Cassius is like, I know she can be a bit of a dunderhead of a sister sometimes, but help Estelle out as best you can, okay? Very sweet. He just loves adopting new kids, basically.
He really does. This is his whole thing.
Any chance he gets.
He loves it. I also got a special line towards Chloe.
Oh, yeah.
He did. So he asked Shara to keep looking out for his daughter, but then he turns to Chloe and he says, and Your Highness, you have my deepest gratitude for helping my daughter. Then he says, I'm aware of some of your other ... concerns, however. I think you should discuss them with a few of the people you know. And then he points out Julia and, who was the other person he mentioned? Maybe it was her grandmother as, like, two people who he should talk to. I think this is her concerns about, like, becoming queen that she was talking to Estelle about last chapter.
Right.
But I just thought it was very sweet that he took a second to dad the princess.
For me, I had a slightly different conversation because I had Olivier in tow instead of Chloe.
Yes, and I want to know what he says to Olivier.
After they finish their conversation, as he's sort of wrapping up to go to his meeting, he says that he knows Olivier has his own business that he's put aside to help out Estelle and co, and that he really appreciates it. But he does say, just be sure not to neglect your own mission. So he's very in the know, it seems, about what Olivier's whole deal is.
Yes.
And it's just like, thanks for putting that on hold, potential foreign agent, to help my daughter and my extra daughter that I just got, I guess. But can you make sure you do your secret covert mission from another country?
Yeah.
Interesting take from Dad. Oh, he also mentions in this conversation that he's finally got the army in order, but they haven't really been able to make much progress finding like a silver bullet to defeat the enforcers. And he mentions that it'd be really nice to have his own intelligence division right about now.
Yeah, but he's barely gotten the other parts of the army back together.
But yeah, after that, he ducks off because General Morgan is early for the meeting, and he's just kind of sick of Morgan's shit. He's like, this man cannot wait ever.
Zero patience.
So he has to go. We've set our device, which means it's time to turn around and head off to replace the third one in Chaldea Tunnel.
Yes. Secret tunnel through the mountains. So then, yeah, we go to Chaldea Tunnel. It's all pretty normal. We go to just across the first bridge, activate, put it up there. I like that after you do... So, if you've done the Trap Plains one first, I don't know if they say the same thing for the others, but if you've done that one first, then every time you do the other ones, Estelle goes, now flip that switch right now, Tita, because they got attacked the first time when they took too long to flip the switch. So now every other time she's like, flip it quick, flip it quick. She's like, I'm flipping. It's very cute.
Very much the same. It seems like they just change those lines depending on the order. But yeah, it's just like, let's just do this. And everyone's just kind of like tensing on their weapons just in case.
But then once you do that, some folks walk over the bridge. It's Annalise and Agate for me.
Yeah, for me, Annalise and Shara, obviously.
And my Agate, because Agate hasn't hung out with Olivier this game for my game, we get a line from him acknowledging it, which I thought you'd want to know. He goes,
oh yeah.
Oh, the Erebonian's with you, great. And then asks what Olivier's doing there. And Olivia goes, what a silly question, my dear Raven. Do I need a reason to help lovely damsels in their trials? And Agate goes, man, you guys, kind of got it hard, it looks like.
Nice. For me, when they show up, Shara asks Olivier, weren't you at the hot springs? And he responds, but Shara, there are currents deeper than the ocean at play here. And she sort of goes, oh, okay, so you were just curious and you're tagging along. And he's like, yeah, basically.
Of course.
It's at this point, at least in my version of the scene, where Annalise can no longer hold herself back and physically molests Tita.
Yeah.
She just like glomps onto her and is like, you're too cute to like respect social boundaries.
I don't think she glomped her in mine. I think she was just like, oh my god, she's so cute, she's so cute. Is she yours, Estelle? Is she your little sister? Have you been hiding a little sister for me? And Estelle's like, I guess kinda. But I don't think she glomped her. That's so interesting.
Yeah, no, she full on like attacks Tita in my version. And Tita kind of like, she's like, haha, it's okay, because I guess she's used to meeting insane women at this point.
Yeah.
Estelle does have a line. She's like, as she's like latched on to Tita, she goes, Annalise's love of cute things. Didn't I call this at one point?
Yeah.
Got to make sure she doesn't smother Tita. Because, yeah, I think there was a line earlier in the prologue or something where she's like, it would be crazy if Annalise ever met Tita.
Oh, yeah.
I need to be ready to, like, jump in the way, and she was not quick enough.
Yes. So what we learn is that Annalise and whoever is with her has been following up on the trail of some missing intelligence division guys and the Sky Bandits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're up to, and we update them a bit on what we've been up to. And in my game, Shara tells Agate about Bliblaw and that he was terrifyingly strong, and Annalise starts freaking out a bit because she's like, oh my god, if Shara's talking like this about someone, it must be a fucking demon.
Ooh, interesting.
But good guy Agate shows up and just says, he's like, if you guys need any help, just say the word and we'll be right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of this in the remainder of this chapter. I noticed, like, everyone's constantly telling each other, if you need help, call me.
Yeah.
To, like, a strange degree that I was just like, why is everyone saying this? Is this going to be important very soon?
All you have to do is call my name, and I'll be there on the next airship.
But yeah, I get similar. They talk about like being on the trail of the Capuas and the old Intel division. When everyone's got to go, though, Olivier's basically been cut off in this conversation every time he speaks up again. And as Shara and Annalise are turning to leave, he throws a tantrum. He basically goes, how can you be so cold after finally reuniting with your beloved? And he looks properly upset. This isn't like a smarmy line for him. He's just like, but I missed you.
Mm.
Shara and Annalise basically like, oh, well, you know, if you miss me, come with us. We can stop for a drink. And Annalise has a little sing-song line. She's like, oh, Shara can drink a dino dial under the table, you know. After that, Olivier's like, maybe not. I'm good. And Agate cuts in out of nowhere, kind of betraying his new feminist leaning. He's just like, don't take this the wrong way, but you're two ladies alone. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Oh, Agate.
Agate, what about women being cool and powerful? And suddenly he's just like, hey, you're a pair of broads. You're in danger.
Also, shouldn't you, of all people, know that Shara can drink terrifying amounts? Like, you have been her coworker for years. You would know that she's terrifyingly bottomless.
Now he's like, oh, but you might get hurt. It's like, isn't she a higher level bracer than you?
Yeah, dude, chill.
The worst part is that they take it as, like, thoughtful of him. They're like, oh, that's very kind of you, but we're okay. No, that's really, like, demeaning of him.
Yeah, come on.
Punch him in the gut. But in any case, they move on, and we're free to return to the ops room to finish up this, like, region-spanning mission.
I had some different dialogue finishing up, because...
Oh, yeah.
I had, again, Tita saw each other for the first time this game.
Oh, right, it would be.
Tita is pretty weird from the first time she sees Agate. Agate's very friendly. He calls her short stuff. Tita's like, don't call me short stuff. That's mean.
Oh.
But she's kind of acts weird and seems to pipe up a few times if she wants to say something, and then it's like, never mind.
Huh.
You know, Agate tells her, send your best to the old man, and also tells her, you know, don't spend all your time on machines. Make sure you save some time to just be a kid and have fun.
Cute.
And Tita's like, oh, thank you. And, you know, there's some thing about being careful, and, you know, Tita's like, well, you're so reckless. You always do silly things, so you have to be careful too. And then Agate and Annalise leave, and Tita's acting really weird. And Tita then goes, I didn't know Agate had a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Estelle laughs, like it's a big, like, snort, like laugh in all caps. Poof type sound. And they're like, no, they're working partners. We split up into two teams. She's not whispering sweet nothings into his ear. She's just his work partner right now.
Yeah.
Is what Shara says. Estelle's laughing still about this, and Tita goes, "Oh, haha, I guess that is kind of funny then." And then Estelle has in parentheses, "I guess it really wasn't funny for you, sweetie." So there's a hint there that Tita has a little puppy crush on Agate.
That's so interesting. Yeah, that's such a different reaction because for my version, where she's been hanging out with Agate for a while, from the jump, like she was like so pro Agate. She's excited to see him, excited to hang out with him.
She's been excited when he like has come up, but I think it was seeing him with Annalise that freaked her out.
Which is interesting because like he's hanging out with Estelle when she meets him in my version without Joshua.
Yeah.
Which seems like an avenue for his like, oh no, have you like hooked up with a new guy now that Josh has left? But there was none of that. So,
I could see that, but I guess it's more because Annalise is like an unknown girl that
maybe.
she like, and she doesn't know Annalise is a bracer, right? She's just like some girl is there with Agate, and Tita's like, oh, I guess it's a girlfriend.
I guess at the end of it, in both versions of the scene, the end result is that Tita just gets a bad impression of Annalise.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we'll deal with that later. For now, it's time to head back to operations, where I was excited to learn that another person who's received a portrait this game is Chief Murdoch.
Oh, did he not have a portrait in the first one? I thought I
No, he didn't.
wild. I totally forget who gets portraits when.
I'm finding it can be a bit easy to detect because much like Ms. Mao, there's like a very slightly different art style. Like it's clearly a different illustrator who did these additional portraits.
Yeah, no, I like don't remember. I guess partially because I was also playing SC at the same time as FC.
True. Back there, they're all very excited that we got everything set up. Everything's lined up perfectly because Tita did a good job.
So good.
And now we just have to wait. It was this big rush to get it done, and now we just have to sit around waiting for an earthquake. My team, I think Estelle and also Olivier complained about having to wait.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, this is going to take forever.
I didn't have Olivier with me, but Estelle definitely complains.
And then immediately the alarm goes off because there's another earthquake, so we don't need to wait at all.
Complaining works, guys. You complained and your concerns were addressed.
This is also after we just finished having a conversation about how scientists are also incredibly devoutly religious as well. Did you have this as well?
Yeah, we had that too, yes.
Making a big point is like, we believe in science, but also we're men of faith, and they're talking about how much they prayed when they were working on a big project or something.
I don't know how that conversation started, but Tita's like, I pray to the goddess a lot when I'm working really hard on something. Oh, right. So Murdoch is talking about how when they were building like an airship or something, like he was constantly praying because he was like, that thing wouldn't blow up in all their faces. And Russell is like, I am so, like, I'm betrayed that you didn't have faith in me. Tita's like, oh no, it's normal for scientists to pray when they're working on something big. I pray, like, whatever. And it becomes a weird conversation. It's kind of like Tita's trying to save face for Murdoch. Trying to save face that he's inadvertently offended her grandpa, but then it just becomes a convo about how all the scientists go to church a lot.
Yeah, they even crack jokes about how, I think it's Murdoch was found in the church more often than the lab during that project because he was just praying so much.
Come to think of it, since apparently priests know more about medicine than doctors do, maybe it's actually really smart as a scientist to go spend time in church. Maybe that's where you'll learn more about science.
Dear Idios, please let Father Vixen borrow out to me his science book so that I can do science. I love you, goddess. Amen.
Please. Yeah.
In any case, the alarm goes off, the septium veins are active again, and it's originating from Leyston Fortress. It's a Dadquake.
Yep, it's a Dadquake. It's no good. We get a little cutscene showing Cassius there as this earthquake happens, and Cassius knew it was coming. He was like, yep, they went for the obvious bait.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly was like, someone is causing these, and we're going to be the next target, and so they, like, reinforced everything.
They ceased port activities so that they wouldn't have any, like, boats or stuff ruined.
Yeah.
So it's basically had very little impact on the base in the end of the day, which is great.
And we hear back very quickly that there were no injuries or at least no significant injuries, at least in Forest. Yep. So Estelle's relieved there. But we then figure out that from the other readings that these are in fact man-made or technologically generated earthquakes.
Yeah, so someone is juicing the septium veins to activate these earthquakes.
Estelle's horrified. She's like, you're saying someone's controlling septium veins in all capitals in order to generate earthquakes on purpose? And I'm like, you didn't know what septium veins were 20 minutes ago, Estelle.
Gosh, if they do this to the septium veins, would they do it to the dragon veins as well? Like, so confused, Estelle. You're almost there. But yeah, so Estelle says, triangulate. And they figure it out. It turns out that the the signals that are causing the earthquake are emanating from Elmo Village.
It's actually quite funny, at least the way it played out for me, is that Russell reads off the coordinates and Tita's immediately like, oh no, and Estelle's like, what, do you know where that is? And Tita's like, well, yes, and pulls out a map and it's like, yes, I know exactly. Like, I guess what it is she knows that, because they said the coordinates for Leyston Fortress, and so she figured out based on that, like, because she's very smart, so she just figured out, but I love that she has a paper map in her pocket that she just whips out.
Yeah.
Like, is she also a hunter of love? Because Olivia said that's why he always has a map of La Pearl on him, and I love that everyone just has these paper maps with them all the time. And Chloe, as we know, the inside of her dress, I guess, of her princess dress is a map of the sewers of Grancel.
It's true. It's interesting also that she pulls out this map to explain when the map does not have coordinates on it at all. It's the same map you can bring up in, like, the world map.
Like, she's just pointing to places, but this is BP question too, though. Like, she points out, she kind of lays it out and is like, and where would it be? And you have a BP question.
So you have to correctly say Elmo Village. It was just kind of jarring for me because, as I was saying a week or two ago, I've been playing Atomfall.
Oh, yes.
Which is like an RPG by the Obsidian team who did Fallout New Vegas. And in that one, you always have to pull out your map because you get given coordinates where things are and you have to manually mark them on the map.
Right.
And it does have coordinates on the edges. So you're finding where, 99.7 east is or whatever. And then she's basically just pulled out like what could essentially be a blank sheet of paper and see, here is the explanation. Where is it? And I'm just like, I don't know. You should tell me. You're the one who's so smart.
It's very much like, where would that be in reference to knowing that this is what Leyston is? It's not actually like...
But they make a big deal of those coordinates. I just wish they counted for something.
Yeah.
It turns out it's coming from Elmo Village, but specifically it's the caves that the hot springs come from.
Yes.
So it's just outside of Elmo Village.
Yeah.
And once again, everyone spends a lot of time promising to call each other or get called on if anyone needs help at any point.
Yes.
And then we're off to Elmo again.
We are. Yet again. And we get to Elmo, and immediately it's clear that something weird's going on. And we go forward, and Mrs. Mao is like, something's happening. She greets us at the entrance. And she brings us back to where the, like, spring, or the bath, whatever. The one, not the, like, ones attached to the inn, but the one in the town center. And you can immediately see that it's bubbling. It's boiling. The water's literally boiling, which is pretty fucking bad, I think.
Yeah, she specifically says, I can't well let the customers boil themselves like eggs.
Yeah.
And also she can't even use the water for washing because it's too hot. Which, that's very unfortunate, Ms. Mao. I'm so sorry.
For me, it was Chloe, I think, who suggested, would it be possible that all this earthquake activity is, like, stimulating the hot spring? I don't know. Basically, the earthquake is boiling it, and Tina's like, that's actually extremely likely. That has to be what's happening. So interesting that Chloe put it together for me, but she's an optional party member.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was Olivier. He deduces that it's septium vein activity that's causing it.
So it is always the fourth party member, whichever one you pick.
The non-Tita attendee, yeah.
The extra, yeah.
So Mao gives us the key to the gate, which leads to the source.
Yes.
Which is that gate above the house where Tita was working on the pump that we never got to go through. Which is interesting because when I came down to Elmo Village to visit last episode, I actually went up and rattled that gate because I'm just like, oh yeah, we never got to go through there. And it's just like, you can't go through there, it's locked. I was like, oh, one day. And then it turns out that one day was today.
Today, yes. But yeah, we go in.
Where I will point out, once again, the key to the gate is not an interactable key item thing. Should have been.
It's so strange, that mechanic. But we go in and there's like a screen after the gate and then you go into a cave. And there are these very like mysterious kind of ethereal dungeony area. Like you've got all these little like hot springs on there. The way it works is there are these like geysers spouting up water and it's boiling. So it will like your party members will lose HP if they're touched by it. And they're basically like, you have to watch the patterns and go by when they go down.
And you have to be really precise with it because
the
thing I quickly learned is that the damage doesn't just affect your main lead party member. It's everyone in like the walking path.
Yeah.
Which meant for me that every time, because also the range of effect for these geysers is wider than you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
They have the water shooting up in the middle and there's sort of the effect of water spilling off the edges and the immediate area around it does hurt you, but the further area where like the froth of the water is, that doesn't hurt you. So it's trial and error learning. But I kept forgetting how far away from the geyser it would be. So I'd be running down the path, turn around and be like, whoop, better back up. And I would back up, except for Olivier, who would still be standing there at the end of the line, just getting damaged slowly.
Same with Chloe. Chloe would got so much chipping away at her damage.
Yeah.
It does feel like there should be fairies in this dungeon. Like, there's something kind of...
It does have that vibe, yeah.
And funny enough, the first chest message I got said, "We're sorry, the item fairies haven't restocked this chest yet. Please come visit again soon." Which, did I tell? I feel like we've seen this one again, in the first game, because I think I told the story about my dad calling himself the toilet paper fairy whenever he would restock the toilet paper when I was a kid.
No, I think it is one of the repeat ones. I had a couple like that. There weren't really any unique ones. And now I'm starting to doubt whether I'm spotting unique ones or it's just been long enough that I don't remember them anymore. One that I did get in all caps was, "Haha, you thought taking that would make me weak, but you've only awakened my true power."
I got that. I also got a really fun one that I think was probably more fun for you than for me because you've played all this East. You see a heart carved around Adol plus Dogi, what's his name? How's it pronounced?
I didn't get that.
You didn't see this.
No, I definitely got every chest in the dungeon, but I didn't get that message.
Then you missed the message. Okay. You must not have clicked it twice.
Maybe, yeah.
Dogi, is it pronounced Dogi or Doji, like the character?
It's Dogi, yeah.
Yeah, so you see a heart carved around Adol plus Dogi. Where did this chest come from? Come in all caps. I'll send this screenshot to you. I can't believe you missed the...
Yeah, I swear I double tapped the chests.
I can't believe you missed the East/chest. The gay East chest. The geese chest.
I'm so curious which one it was, because, yeah, like, I felt like I was so, like, insistent on doing it because, unfortunately, the 1C demo doesn't have chest messages, so I was still kind of peeved about that.
It's so sad. And I keep double-clicking.
Yeah, every time. But yeah, I didn't get this message. That's so crazy. Of all the people to miss it, it was me?
Yeah. There's also a chest singing "Baby Come Back."
I don't remember that one. Are these chest messages maybe randomized a bit?
I can't imagine.
Are some of these repeat ones pulling from, like, a table?
But all of them have been the same so far.
Yeah. It just makes me wonder if, like, the ones that don't have unique messages, if they're pulling from a random list rather than a specific one. But that would be, like, so much extra programming work. I don't know why it would be like that. Am I really missing that many chests?
This was a weird dungeon layout-wise. Like, I almost went to the boss area before hitting, like, 4 chests. It was strange.
The guide I've been using has the chests numbered in a way that sort of leads you through the dungeon without, like, triggering things before you should. So I was confident that I'd been so comprehensive. Now I'm mad. Because the only other good one that I had, I think it might be a repeat as well, is you open the chest, ponder putting the item you took from it back, and close it again with a soft smile.
I also had, you gaze into the empty black void of the chest and for a fleeting moment feel very small.
Yeah, I saw that one, but I wasn't sure if that was a repeat or not, because there was another one about, like, a hole at the bottom of the chest or something.
Oh, yeah. And there was also, who hides their valuables and chests out in the open? This is supposed to be a modern nation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, the dungeon, it's fairly straightforward other than dodging these hazards. So it was also a lot shorter than I expected it to be. I ran through this dungeon pretty fast.
Yeah, it's only like 2 screens or something like that. Maybe 3, but small ones.
It's fairly straightforward. Like, if you're doing, like, classic dungeon exploration, just, like, following a wall or something, you will get led everywhere. There's not a lot of double backs or anything like that. But before getting to the end of the dungeon, I did find down a side path a random hot spring bath.
Yes.
And we all jumped in for a bath.
It heals ya. It's the only one that's not boiling.
Yeah, they make a point of saying, like, oh, look, it's a steam bath that's not going to kill us. And Olivier is very much pushing, like, come on, let's have a bath. So we all jump in. And I like that it's, like, an environmental healing thing.
Yes, like you stand in it.
It's not like you click on the edge of the water, you have a bath, you come back out, like you would in the hot springs at the village kind of thing, or like any of the hot springs that have been in this series to date.
Yeah, in later games you got one of those in Cold Steel.
But instead it's like a positive environmental effect in that you stand in the water and your health just sort of chips back up, which is fun.
Your CP goes up too.
It does, that's right.
Not your EP, CP. But your CP does.
So it's like a weird alternative to having like an orbment station at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah, I like that they were like, it wouldn't make sense to have an orbment station, so instead we're going to come up with another way to give you the idea without making it weird and jarring.
Yeah, makes sense within the context of this dungeon.
Yeah. And it adds to the whole kind of mysterious, magical feeling of the place. Like,
Yeah, it's naturally restorative, which is why it's so such a betrayal that it's been turned into like a thing of damage.
Exactly. But yeah, so then at the end,
It's time to walk into the final area where we see some like spooky, like lightning looking stuff spreading across the floor. And it turns out it's emanating from a big hole in the ground with a pole in it.
More pole dancing for peace? Not quite.
Turns out, dancing on that pole, it's not a person, but rather another gospel. It's the Gospel 3, Electric Beagly.
Oh my god. It is.
And standing next to it, we meet a figure we've been hearing a lot about, a big muscular man in a black suit with black gloves and black glasses, who, throughout this conversation, despite the fact that I have Olivier and Agate with me, he refers to all of us as ladies. He's like, even in ladies, good of you to come all the way here.
Does Agate push back about being called a lady? Or is he enough of a feminist that he's not gonna take that as an insult?
No, he doesn't mention it at all.
I'm assuming that that's because Agate's like, you think I'm insulted being called a lady? Think again.
Actually, women are powerful, and I know that because I took Gender Studies 101.
I love Estelle just goes, a man with sunglasses, which is kind of like her going, oh, wait, man. Like,
these are things to be afraid of. Like, a man wearing sunglasses in a dark area, he's dangerous. You know this.
And they're weird looking sunglasses. Like, they are not cool. They're like swimming goggles.
They seemingly are designed to hide his eyes entirely through most of this scene. And he introduces himself as Enforcer number 8, Walter the Direwolf.
Yeah, so we heard the name the Direwolf before in the prologue, in that one scene with some Ouroboros people. We heard that name.
Now we have a face to the name. He's a guy who honestly does not look that buff in a suit that's kind of ill-fitting and maybe the worst haircut I've seen in these games to date.
Yeah,
He has these 2 mismatched length bangs and like a spiky situation going on top. It's not good. I don't think this is a very imposing man.
I would be concerned around him, but not because he's hot and intimidating in that sense, just because he looks like a freak.
He looks like a freak, he talks like a freak.
I'm like, I'm not safe around this man.
Yeah, he's not even the buffest person in this scene.
No. Well, for you. I'm all girls, I'm all the ladies right now.
Or by the end of it, just at all. I mean, even then, Cher's probably stronger than him.
Cher's probably buffer, yeah.
So yeah, Walter is kind of a freak.
Such a freak.
He loves to hurt people. His whole belief is basically that people like it when he ruins their lives, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about how everyone's lives are boring and it's actually the excitement they need when he sets off earthquakes that destroys their homes. Like, he specifically wanted to make this device powerful enough to topple buildings, but he couldn't push it that far.
Yeah, well, and he says some things about, like, he's like, yeah, if I had done that, I think Estelle is the one who said, but, that would have been horrible. Like, people would have gotten hurt. And he goes, yeah, some people would have died so slowly with their legs crushed, and others would have died so quickly with their, like, heads caved in or whatever. And Tita starts crying a bit. She's like, that's horrible.
Yeah, I've got the line there. Some of them would get crushed under the rubble, their arms and legs mashed into jelly, left screaming like pigs. Others, they'd get quick deaths. Heads shattered like eggs, spilling their brains out on the road for everyone to see. Hey, I've got an idea. How about we do that to you instead? Talking to Tita. That blonde head of yours looks pretty fragile to me.
And Tita starts crying. Of course she would, because that's a horrifying thing to be told at any age, especially as a little child. And then he says this thing about...
And by a badly dressed man, no less.
The dreary, soggy porridge of most people's lives need a little spice. And in my game, Cher goes, well... congratulations, you are now the worst man I've ever known.
In my version, Agate deduces that Walter let us in here on purpose because he wanted to have a fight. So he sort of laid the path to lead us here.
Sheriff figures that out too, yeah. And then we don't actually fight him, though. He's, like, testing us first.
Yeah. Then, instead of fighting us, he summons some big shrimp.
Some big worms, the abyss worms, who I hate. They are recurring. This is the first of many times we'll encounter them, and I hate them every time. They're not that bad in this one compared to later ones where they get a lot of delay skills, but...
Oh, yeah, these are the guys who could do, like, the area effect delay thing, and then they'd all stack it up, yeah.
In this one, I think it's just... I don't think it has a delay effect at this time, but in later games it will.
It's still a pain. They also just look like big uncooked shrimp. Like,
yeah.
They're bad. So this man who's like, I love to fight and hurt. He's just like, here's some worms.
It's like, let's see if you're good enough to fight me first. Like, I don't know.
It's kind of a challenging fight, but not really. For like the final boss of the chapter, I was expecting a bit more challenge. But I'm glad not to have it.
Yeah, like it takes a little while because there's like 6 of them, but it's not like that. Like nobody ever died. Like the earthquake shaker thing, like that does hit hard, but they don't go so fast that you can't heal before the next one. And it's not like it's killing anyone. It just takes like a little chunk out of your health.
Yeah, I did get stuck a few times where I did have to like res people a few times just because I would get caught in the wrong turn order.
Yeah.
Maybe just because Agat's slower overall compared to Shara having another spellcaster on hand.
Probably.
Yeah, as long as you focus on taking them down one at a time.
And this was all spellcasting for me. I just kept using everyone just used. I had aerial on everyone, and I just aerialed everything all the time.
Yeah, after retargeting to like focus on one enemy at a time instead of trying to do area effect attacks, I was able to clear them out pretty quick. Afterwards, after beating up all his worms, though, Walter says that we're weak. It's like, I just beat your worms.
So he says that fight was more pathetic than I expected. And Shara goes, yeah, we've beat up lots of monsters scarier than your pets. Underestimate us at your peril. Like, she's kind of bragging. And then Walter clarifies that no, we're the worms who disappointed him. Because he thinks we're weak and pathetic watching that. Like, and then he does this big punchy move, and it knocks all of us to the ground.
He says that we're weak, and then does like a falcon punch that knocks all of us down.
Yeah.
At which point he's pissed. He's like, ugh, this is bullshit. Louvet was talking out his ass again, because he promised that there'd be strong people here to fight. And if this is all there is, like, what a letdown.
He's like, yeah, he said there was more than just the Divine Blade who would give me a run for my money here, because... Like, I love that all the Ouroboros people are like, yes, we respect that Cassius is, like, strong as shit. Like, nobody's doubting that. It's They're, like, disappointed everyone but Cassius. He's not a booty call that we have access to. So he says he's gonna have to sweet-talk the professor into letting him hunt Fang Boy. And at this point, Estelle loses it. She forces herself to her feet. She's like, I will not let you hurt him. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I will fight you.
I won't let scum like you get in my way.
You disgusting sicko, she calls him. Not sicko affectionate.
No, not this time.
Walter says, you get why they call me the direwolf, right? I don't hold back for women or kids, or both.
Though he does admit to being impressed that Estelle was able to stand up again at all after his big attack.
Yes.
Because... like, pure anger has forced her to her feet again. She's ready to, like, go for round 2 that she will not win.
Yeah, in case, I don't think we mentioned this, Fangboy refers to Joshua, and Estelle picks up on that.
Yep.
The Black Fangboy. She clearly immediately clocks that he's threatening Joshua. Basically, Walter's like, you're a martial artist. You point that stick at me. You know what it means. And Estelle's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, well, I respect your guts enough that I'll give you a quick death. I'll let it be instant. And he's, like, gonna kill her.
Yep.
And Tita starts crying and shouting her name. In my game, Shara's like, Estelle, run.
Yeah, Agat does the same.
And then somebody jumps in the way, and Eastern Giant says ...
Well, I have a different version.
Oh.
Because for me, I have Olivier with me and Chloe is not there. What actually happened is he goes to punch Estelle and Sig flies in and distracts him, sort of knocks him back.
Ah.
So he jumps back away from Estelle and is like pissed. And then an Eastern Giant jumps into frame and kicks him 300,000 times in the head.
Amazing. It's so interesting, the differences.
Yeah,
so, and Olivier comes in with him for me. And Olivier's like, my friend, something like, we came at the right time, something like that. And it's clear immediately that Jin and Walter know each other.
Yes.
And Jin says something about how seeing Walter like this would break Master's heart. And Walter's like, I don't give a shit. Like, stop talking shit or I'll kill you.
Yeah, I noticed a couple little things in this chat, because obviously we've done the reveal of eyes before with Alba in the first game. Throughout this entire scene so far, Walter's glasses have been opaque, so you can't see his eyes at all.
Yeah.
But once Jin joins the scene and they're talking to each other, his eyes start to be visible behind the glasses, so you can actually see his expression properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're talking about how they've met, quote unquote, a lot. They get into fights regularly. They also highlight that Walter is a pretty recent hire to Ouroboros.
And he's been having a blast since he joined up, he says.
Yeah, he's having a great time. But yeah, he's like being a lot more like down to earth. He's less like dramatic the way he's speaking. So that combined with his eyes being visible is like, this is him not putting on a performance. This is just him being him. So you notice he
Yeah.
stops doing things like, I like to punch women into jam,
Yeah.
or whatever. He's just like, I like to fight and I want to fight you.
He's saying, oh, this has made my day, the fact that you're here. Like, he's very excited that Jin's now in the fray. But Jin points out that Kilika is in Zeiss. And that's the first time Walter actually seems shaken. Like, he dotted dots. He looks kind of shaken, taken aback. But he's like, stop this and go talk to Kilika. She's been wanting to see you. I think he says after Master died, maybe, or after something. Like, she was wandering the continent for a few years before becoming an Embracer receptionist. And he's like, go talk to her, go see her, stop this.
Yeah, Walter's like, why is she in this, like, hick town?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jin's like, you should go talk to her, and Walter doesn't want to have this conversation, so he kicks Jin to stop it.
Yeah. He's like, no, shut up. And wants it. So clearly there's a history there.
He kind of says, well, I'm done here, grabs the Gospel 3, and
Fucks off.
he walks past the party who are all still sort of stuck on the ground. At first I thought he was, like, standing yeet-porting because he fades, like, immediately after walking past them. But the implication is meant to be that he disappears into the mist. The mist just isn't that thick.
Yeah. Jin kind of looks like he's going to run after him, but then doesn't.
And then at the end of the scene, the last little bit I had is that Agate challenges Jin. He's like, how do you know that guy? And the only thing Jin will say, he's like, he's an old acquaintance.
Yeah, he's like, in my thing, I think he says, I'll explain later, but he's an old acquaintance. And then we get a text box, at least in mine, which is Estelle's group took a chance to relax in the springs once they returned to the surface before going back to Zeiss. And it's like, really? They really, like, first of all, I don't know if they'd stop boiling that fast. Like, I think even if they're not the boil isn't being continued, like, if you boil a pot of water, it stays hot for a while before going back to its normal, like, it doesn't immediately go back to room temperature. But they're like, we have time.
Exactly. But yeah, I love that. It's just like, they went and had a bath.
And they didn't talk about what happened.
No, apparently not.
Like, because we're going to have that conversation in Zeiss. They don't go for it's not like, let's have a bath and I'll explain everything. Like, at least that would kind of make sense. Like, let's unwind as I unload on you. But no. It's like, let's have a bath in silence.
As RuPaul famously said, nothing you say matters if the cameras aren't rolling. So nothing could happen at the bath because we didn't see it. What we do is instead skip straight back to the guild.
And everybody's there now.
Where we've got a whole crew of people to talk to. We've got our party, plus the professor, plus Chief Murdoch, plus Jin, plus Kilika.
Yes.
So everyone's just kind of checking in and wrapping up. So this is the point where Jin and Kilika revealed that they were all students together along with Walter at the Teoh style
dojo.
Like under a Teoh style master.
Yeah, and Kilika suspected it was Walter this whole time, apparently. Jin is like, yeah, exactly. So, wait, what? But of course it's Kilika. So of course Kilika, like, had figured out, had a better idea of what was going on than she let on. And she was like, yeah, from his description, obviously I figured it was Walter, like, you dumbass. But yeah, Jin starts to say Kilika was more than just a student. She was also Master Ryuga's, and then Kilika cuts him off before he can say
yes.
She was his what? She says it doesn't matter.
I'm going to assume daughter?
Probably, yeah. But Walter left the dojo 6 years ago. But they were all students together. Walter was the senior student. And Teoh is a martial arts school for clarity.
Yeah, we're going to have protagonists later on down the line who are Teoh school users as well, so...
Yeah, a lot of martial arts schools in Zemuria.
So at this point, Olivier is also speculating that the Gospels, given that we've seen a couple different ones now, they're basically like turbo buttons for whatever you plug them into. Turns out the villain was the turbo button, so that's a real...
Oh my god.
Thrown for a loop in second chapter.
Fuck! We've been complicit this whole time!
I assume turbo works in universe because Estelle just has like an orbment plugged into the side of her head that makes her faster. Turns out that's evil and we need to reckon with that before we face the final bad guys.
That's what's holding her pigtails up. She's got like gospel bumpets under her pigtails.
That's what the metal clips are. They're just like her turbo enablers.
Exactly.
Olivia's like, oh, these are basically like nitrous packs that you can just plug into anything to make it go faster, because that's what it's done so far. Other than the original Black Orbment, which had its whole EMP effect.
Yeah.
The other ones have just like made the earthquakes go harder, and then in the previous chapter...
made the projections go further.
Made the blue screen of death go farther.
Made a spin and cheat pose way better.
And Professor Russell says he can't figure out the Gospels, and he can't think of anyone else who can. He's like, I'm very smart, and of all the smart people I know, I don't think anyone's got this, including folks from Vern Company in Calvard and the Rhineford Company in Erebonia. So just some names to keep in mind for way down the track.
I love how early they nailed down these names.
He also mentions that not even the unfortunately named Epstein Foundation would be able to help, even though that's kind of like the pinnacle of technology.
Yeah.
In good news for technology, though, Chief Murdoch does say that they've finished the new engine for the Arce.
Yeah.
Once they've got that installed, they can help with figuring out the gospel. So, many hands make light work, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
It seems like other than that, there's not really much for us to do in Zeiss anymore. So Estelle sort of puts it to Killica, like, where are we going to go next?
And it turns out that Elnan and Grancel, and they call it the main branch, but the capital branch, has put out a call for help. We don't know exactly why, but they need bracers in the capital.
Yeah, a request from army leadership specifically.
Yes, we'll go, it's Cassius, and we don't know for sure that it's Cassius, but seems likely.
We were requested by name, so it seems likely, yeah.
And then Jin says he's going to come with us, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Tita asks if she can come with us. And we're like, well, let's ask your grandpa. And Russell is like, as a grandfather, I'm terrified. But also, I don't want to limit your experience. Like, I don't want to tell you no to follow. I want you to follow your dreams or something like that.
Yeah, he says, I want to make her dreams possible whenever I can.
Yeah, he's sweet. Even if, it's kind of a scary thing to do. But then Chloe points out something I think is actually really important, that it doesn't seem that Ouroboros cares about civilian casualties.
Yeah.
That they're willing to let civilians get in harm's way. So we have no reason to think she'd be safer here in Zeiss. And I think this is a really important thing going forward, because as I talked about a lot in the first game, right, the whole kind of thesis and theme of Trails is that everybody matters. Like, nobody's a red shirt, right? Nobody's just disposable. Nobody's just like, whatever. Like, everyone has a whole life and a story that matters. And kind of the flip side of that, if that's true, then not caring about civilian casualties, not caring about collateral damage, not whatever, that's real villainy.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
If so I think that's a real trend you see a lot in Trails, that villains don't care about collateral damage, and that's not just like a side thing that, it's not just like, oh, it's inevitable and, it happens and it's a superhero fight, so of course skyscrapers are crashing in the background. Like, it's not like that, right? It's very much like, no, if you don't care about collateral damage, that's a problem. And if you don't care that civilians are getting hurt, that says something about you. And I think it's really interesting this is the first time it really gets flagged.
Yeah, interestingly, for my version of the scene, it's not Chloe who says that, it's Agate.
Oh, huh.
He's like, because he's there instead of Shara, he says, and of course he speaks it probably less eloquently than Chloe does, he says, between that clown and what we learned from that psycho, I think it's safe to say the society gives not one damn about the safety of civilians. And yeah, basically, Zeiss is no more safe than anywhere, really. So given that, what the hell, eh? Might as well keep her where we can keep an eye on her.
Yeah, Chloe calls him that ... madman.
After Agate's declaration, Olivia says, oh, our rough raven wishes to be a white knight. How chivalrous, how manly.
I love you, Olivier.
And Estelle says, oh, given that look, I think Olivier's right on the mark.
Yeah.
So everyone's just like calling out Big Bro Agate again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like on board with Tita coming. Jin's also coming along, so we've got like a big squad. Chloe's going to stick with us because basically going home for her.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's also an extra interaction between Agate and Jin at this point.
Oh.
Because they're going to Grand Cell together. Agate very humbly says that he's glad that Jin's coming along because he knows he's very strong and he wants to train with him in preparation for the next time they meet Walter.
Yeah, that Shara says that, but saying for the whole group that the whole group could use some training against, and Jin's like, Walter's really strong, but I can definitely teach you how to counter some of his moves.
Yeah, they don't focus on everyone in my version. It's just about Agate. Like, Agate, like, in the middle of this conversation, he's like, hey, Jin, you're strong. I want to be strong. Can I train with you? And the rest of the party, including Jin, remark on how it's like, oh, Agate, that's very kind of humble and grounded of you. Like, I wouldn't expect that from you. And he's like, I'm not stupid. I know Jin is strong, so I am going to work with him. Like, I want to improve myself. So, yeah, just another little, like, human moment for Agate before we wrap up for this one.
The redemption of Agate.
The redemption of Agate.
Oh, wait, shit. I think I forgot to mention another Anton moment.
Oh, did we?
But I'm here to keep you up to date with whatever the tune is. Play the song here. Lover boy in the burrow. Right before, there was another one. I think it was right before going to Elmo Village, although maybe it was right before. It was after you'd been offered be given the machines, maybe you had to go back to Sanctum then.
Oh, yeah, you've got to, like, go back to Leyston Fortress and see him again.
Sanctum, but yeah, he's basically still lying in the same spot, but he's, like, basically saying, I guess I really need to get up and, like, go somewhere.
Oh my god.
Like, it's really a nothing, but they make you go all the way back.
Fuck off. No. That sucks.
It does.
If he's not even in a different position to signal that there should be something to do, that's rude. I don't like that. I saw there's like 15 of these for this achievement as well.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about that kind of like nitpicky bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now. I'm glad I don't have the achievements. I'd be so mad.
Yeah, it's bull.
But yeah, at that point, that's all there is to say for this chapter, really. Kilika says that may the blessings of she who dwells above be with us on our journey. And that is the end of chapter 2, The Raging Land.
And next one, chapter 3. And we're going to have a stopping point. And that stopping point is going to be... So as part of the story, your characters are going to go to bed. Like, it's going to be, like, part of the story. And when you regain control after going to bed, you're going to be in the Erbe Royal Villa. There'll be, like, some scenes. And when you regain control in the Royal Villa, we're going to save and call it for that episode.
Excellent. Okay, so take a nap, wake up at the villa, save your game, and that'll be our stopping point for part 1 of chapter 3.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard a lot of good things about chapter 3. I believe this is the GOAT of the game, or at least in the top contenders.
No, maybe, yes. The back half, there's some really, really strong chapters in this game. I think chapter 6 is the best, but this is the roller coaster's starting to go down.
6? There's 6 chapters? How many chapters are in this one?
9, 10. There's 8 and the finale.
What?
There's a lot of chapters.
Really? I didn't know that. I literally haven't looked up how many chapters there are.
Chapter 6 is, I think, chapter 6 and the finale are probably the best. Chapter 6 is really... I cried. And I don't actually cry that much, despite the fact that I do tear up sometimes. When I say I cried, it means I didn't just tear up. It means I actually cried.
Boo-hoo-hooed.
I cry when I feel a lot, but a different kind of a lot. Anyway, but chapter 3 is it's like when the roller coaster starts going down.
I love it. I can't wait.
So it's not that it's the best in the game, though it's great, but it's like, oh shit, like, boom.
We're getting into it.
Shit's hitting the fan.
Hell yes.
Yeah, that'll be next week.
Hey guys, Future Matt cutting in here with a quick scheduling announcement. So our next episode covering the beginning of Trails in the Sky, second chapter, chapter 3, will be coming in 2 weeks' time. We have a little something special planned for the second half of chapter 3, but we need a little bit more run-up, so we're going to take a quick break next week and then return with chapter 3 1 week after the other as planned. We didn't want to leave you in suspense halfway through a chapter. That seemed unusually cruel. So we'll take a quick break and then return with the next episode in 2 weeks' time. We will see you then. Bye-bye.
In the meantime, thank you as always for listening to Trails Through Trails, which is now a proud member of the Worst Garbage Online podcast network. You can go to theworstgarbage.online to see the other shows in the network. If you don't already listen to some of those, which seems unlikely, go check them out. There's some great shows to listen to. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us on the OrbleNet on Twitter and Blue Sky, and on Instagram as TrailsPod. Or send us an email at trailsthroughtrails@gmail.com. Once again, next we will be playing until we go to bed and wake up in the villa and get to save. Until then, I've been Lex.
And I've been Matt. And we will see you next time on Trails Through Trails.
Bye.
Goodbye.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.